Did you know that over 90% of the time, when a younger woman asks your age, she's not really asking about numbers? She's testing you, testing your confidence, your maturity. But here's the kicker. Most men fail this test without even knowing it. Let's make sure you're not one of them. You see, when a lovely young lady inquires about your age, she's not just satisfying her curiosity. No, she's probing deeper, trying to gauge if you've got the self-assurance and wisdom that come with your years. It's a subtle dance, and most men stumble right out of the gate. Think about it. How many times have you fumbled this question, feeling a twinge of insecurity? Well, today's the day that changes. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly how to turn this seemingly innocent query into a golden opportunity. An opportunity to showcase the very best of what you bring to the table. Are you ready to learn the art of ageless charm? Now, let's talk about the age-old trap that catches so many men off guard. You know the one I'm talking about, those knee-jerk reactions that come flooding out when a younger woman asks about your age. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, and believe me, I've seen it happen more times than I can count. Picture this. You're at a bar, having a great conversation with an attractive woman. The chemistry is palpable, the jokes are landing, and you're feeling on top of the world. Then, out of nowhere, she drops the question. So, how old are you? And just like that, all that confidence you've built up starts to crumble. What's the first thing that pops into your head? For many guys, it's something along the lines of, "I'm only 45," or "I look younger than I am," right? Let me tell you, my friend, these responses are like kryptonite to attraction. They're not just answers, they're admissions of insecurity that can turn a promising encounter into a missed opportunity faster than you can say midlife crisis. You see, when you say, "I'm only 45," what she hears is, "I'm insecure about my age, and I'm hoping you'll overlook it." It's like you're apologizing for your years on this earth, for all the experiences and wisdom you've gained. And let me ask you this, would you apologize for being successful, for being knowledgeable, for being the man you are today? Of course not. So why apologize for your age? As for, "I look younger than I am," well, that's just fishing for compliments. It screams neediness and lack of confidence. You might as well hold up a sign that says, "Please validate me." Is that really the impression you want to make? Let me share a quick story with you. A friend of mine, let's call him Tom, found himself in this exact situation. He was 52, chatting up a gorgeous 30-something at a coffee shop. Things were going great until she asked about his age. Tom panicked and blurted out, "I'm 52, but everyone says I could pass for 40. The woman's interest visibly cooled, and the conversation fizzled out shortly after. Tom had unknowingly signaled his insecurity, and just like that, the connection was lost. But here's the thing. It wasn't Tom's age that turned her off. It was his reaction to the question. His response showed a lack of self-assurance, and that, my friend, is far less attractive than any number could ever be. These knee-jerk responses signal low self-esteem faster than a neon sign. They tell a woman that you're not comfortable in your own skin, that you're seeking approval rather than standing confidently in who you are. And let me tell you, nothing diminishes attraction quicker than a man who doesn't own every aspect of himself, including his age. Think about it. What's more attractive? A man who fumbles and tries to downplay his age, or one who carries his years with pride and confidence? A man who tries to hide behind a number, or one who uses his experiences to intrigue and captivate? I can almost hear you thinking, "All right, I get it. These responses are bad news, but what am I supposed to say? How do I answer without falling into this trap?" Well, my friend, that's exactly what we're going to dive into next. Because believe it or not, there's a way to flip this question on its head, a way to transform it from a potential pitfall into a golden opportunity to showcase your best qualities. More videos like this are coming. Hit subscribe button so you won't miss out. Now that we've covered what not to do, let's talk about the art of timing. When it comes to revealing your age, it's not just about what you say, but when you say it. You see, timing is everything in the dance of attraction, and this is especially true when it comes to discussing your age with a younger woman. Here's a little secret that many men overlook. You don't have to reveal your age right away. In fact, it's often better if you don't. Why? Because women need time to warm up to you, to appreciate your personality and charisma before they start crunching numbers. Think about it. When you meet someone new, what's more important? Their age or their character? Their birth year or their sense of humor? Their wrinkles or their wisdom? Of course, it's the intangibles that really matter. And that's exactly what you want her to focus on. By allowing her to get to know you first, you're creating a rich narrative about who you are as a person. You're giving her the chance to see your confidence, your wit, your life experiences. You're painting a picture of a man who's comfortable in his own skin, regardless of the number of candles on his birthday cake. So how do you navigate those early conversations without directly addressing age? It's simpler than you might think. Focus on sharing stories that highlight your best qualities. Talk about your passions, your adventures, your goals. Show her the depth of your character and the breadth of your experiences. For example, instead of mentioning how long you've been in your career, talk about an exciting project you're working on. Rather than referencing events from decades past, discuss your current hobbies and interests. The key is to keep the conversation in the present and future, not the past. Remember, women often perceive age as a minor subplot in the grand narrative of a relationship. They're more interested in understanding your personality and the connection between you. By focusing on building that connection, you're making age seem less significant in comparison. Now, you might be wondering, but what if she asks directly about my age early on? Well, my friend, that's where the art of playful deflection comes in. A light-hearted response can work wonders. You could say something like, "Old enough to know better, young enough to still do it anyway." It's charming, it's witty, and it keeps the mood light while subtly redirecting the conversation. The goal here isn't to hide your age or be dishonest. It's about allowing her to see you for who you are beyond just a number. It's about creating an emotional connection that transcends age. By mastering this timing, you're not just avoiding potential pitfalls, you're actively enhancing the attraction. You're allowing her to appreciate your personality, your charisma, your unique qualities before age even enters the equation. And when it does, it will seem far less consequential in the grand scheme of your connection. Think of it like this. You're not just answering a question about your age. You're crafting a narrative about who you are. You're showing her that you're a man of depth, of experience, of confidence. You're demonstrating that your appeal goes far beyond mere numbers. All right, it's time to master the art of playful deflection. This, my friend, is where you turn the tables and transform that age question from a potential pitfall into a golden opportunity. You're about to learn how to keep the conversation light, engaging, and firmly in your control. Let's start with a simple yet powerful technique. When she asks your age, turn it right back on her. Ask her to guess. It's a small move, but it packs a big punch. Why? Because it immediately shifts the dynamic. You're no longer on the defensive trying to justify your years. Instead, you've made it a game, and you're the one setting the rules. Now here's where it gets interesting. When she makes her guess, and trust me, she will, there's a good chance she'll lowball it. It's human nature, especially if she's interested in you. She doesn't want to offend by guessing too high. This is where you can really have some fun. If she guesses younger than your actual age, here's a little trick I like to call the 2 years older move. Let's say you're 45 and she guesses 38. You respond with, "Almost, I'm actually 40. See what you did there? You've kept it playful, maintained your integrity by not lying, and still come across as younger than you really are. It's a win-win-win. But what if she guesses spot on or even older? Don't sweat it. This is where your charm and wit come into play. You could say something like, "Wow, you're good. Have you been spying on me?" Or, "I'm impressed. Do you have some kind of age detection superpower I should know about?" Keep it light, keep it fun. Now let's talk about humor. It's your secret weapon in this situation. A well-timed joke can diffuse any tension and showcase your confidence. For example, you might say, "Old enough to be your grandfather." Just kidding. It's playful. It acknowledges the age difference without making a big deal of it, and it shows you're comfortable enough to joke about it. Or how about this one? "I'm old enough to know better, but young enough to do it anyway." It's cheeky, it's confident, and it hints at a sense of adventure that many younger women find irresistible. The key here is to show that your age is just a number to you, not something that defines you or holds you back. You're not trying to hide it or apologize for it. You're owning it with a wink and a smile. Remember, these techniques aren't about deception. They're about creating a fun, engaging interaction. They're about showing her that you're confident, witty, and don't take yourself too seriously. These are attractive qualities at any age. Think about it. What's more appealing? A man who gets flustered and defensive about his age, or one who can laugh about it and turn it into a playful exchange? A guy who's trying to hide his years, or one who wears them with pride and a touch of humor? By mastering these techniques, you're not just answering a question. You're painting a picture of who you are. You're showing her that you're comfortable in your own skin, that you've got the confidence that comes with experience and the playfulness of someone who's young at heart. And here's the best part. This approach often leads to more interesting conversations. Maybe she'll share why she was curious about your age. Maybe it'll lead to a discussion about life experiences or future aspirations. The possibilities are endless when you approach it with the right attitude. Now that you've mastered the art of playful deflection, it's time to take things up a notch. We're going to talk about turning the tables completely. This, my friend, is where you truly take control of the conversation and use it to your advantage. You see, when a younger woman asks about your age, she's not just curious about numbers. She's trying to gauge your confidence, your experience, your place in life. And that's exactly what we're going to give her, but on our terms. Here's the strategy. Instead of just answering her question, you're going to flip the script. You'll redirect the conversation in a way that not only maintains her interest, but also showcases your assertiveness. It's a subtle dance, and you're about to become the lead. Let's start with a powerful example. When she asks your age, try responding with something like, "Old enough to know what I want, but how about you?" Notice what you've done here. You've acknowledged her question without directly answering it, and you've immediately turned the focus back to her. This does two things. It demonstrates your confidence, and it shows genuine interest in her thoughts and experiences. But why is this approach so effective? Well, it's all about assertiveness. By redirecting the question, you're showing that you're not easily flustered or defensive. You're comfortable in your own skin, and you're more interested in getting to know her than in justifying your age. This kind of self-assurance is magnetic, regardless of how old you are. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This redirection isn't just about avoiding the age question. It's an opportunity to shift the entire conversation towards her interests and aspirations. And let me tell you, that's where the real connection happens. For instance, after you've turned the question back to her, you might follow up with something like, "What are you passionate about?" Or, "What's the most exciting thing you're working towards right now?" These questions show that you're interested in her as a person, not just as a pretty face. You're inviting her to share her dreams, her ambitions, her inner world. Think about it. Most guys her age are probably more focused on impressing her with their own accomplishments. But you're different. You're genuinely curious about what makes her tick. That's the kind of attention that can make a lasting impression. This technique does more than just maintain her interest. It helps build a deeper connection that goes beyond age. You're creating a space where she feels heard and valued. And in doing so, you're showcasing one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess: the ability to truly listen and engage. Remember, women are often drawn to older men, not just for their looks or success, but for their emotional maturity and ability to connect on a deeper level. By steering the conversation towards her interests and aspirations, you're demonstrating exactly that kind of maturity. But here's the real kicker. As you encourage her to open up about herself, you'll find natural opportunities to share your own experiences and insights. Maybe she mentions a challenge she's facing in her career, and you can offer some wisdom from your own journey. Or perhaps she shares a dream that aligns with something you've already achieved. These moments allow you to showcase your life experience in a way that's relevant and valuable to her, rather than just rattling off a number of years. Now, I can almost hear you thinking, but what if she keeps pressing for my actual age? Well, my friend, that's where your newfound confidence comes into play. If she persists, you can always say something like, "I appreciate your curiosity, but I find that age is much less interesting than the connection between two people. Don't you agree?" This response not only sidesteps the question, but also reinforces the idea that your compatibility is more important than any number. Now let's talk about embracing your age with confidence. This, my friend, is where you truly shine. It's not just about accepting your years. It's about wearing them like a badge of honor. Think about it. Every line on your face, every gray hair, tells a story. They're not signs of decay. They're marks of a life well lived, and that's exactly how you need to present them. Let's start with how you frame your age. Instead of mumbling or apologizing, try this on for size. "I'm in my early 40s and enjoying every minute of it." Notice the difference? You're not just stating a number, you're declaring a state of mind. You're telling her that you're not just alive, you're thriving. But it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. When discussing your age, maintain a calm demeanor. Show her that emotional stability that comes with years of experience. You're not flustered by a number because you know your worth isn't defined by it. You see, confidence in your age often outweighs the actual number in terms of attraction. A man who's comfortable in his own skin, who doesn't try to hide his years but instead embraces them, that's magnetic. It shows a level of self-assurance that's hard to fake and even harder to resist. Now let's talk about using your life experiences to your advantage. You've lived, you've loved, you've learned. Those aren't just empty years. They're a treasure trove of stories waiting to be shared. Don't be afraid to sprinkle these tales into your conversation. Maybe you've traveled to exotic places, experienced different cultures. Perhaps you've overcome challenges that would make most people crumble. These aren't just anecdotes. They're proof of your resilience, your adaptability, your zest for life. Remember, you're not trying to impress her with a list of accomplishments. You're painting a picture of a man who's lived fully and is eager to keep living, to keep experiencing, to keep growing. That's the kind of energy that's attractive at any age. But here's the real kicker. By embracing your age, you're not just answering a question. You're showcasing your maturity and self-assurance. You're demonstrating that you're comfortable with who you are, where you've been, and where you're going. Think about it from her perspective. What's more attractive, a man who fumbles and tries to hide his age, or one who owns it with pride? A guy who's constantly trying to act younger, or one who's confident in the wisdom and experiences his years have brought him? Now, I'm not saying you should ignore the age difference entirely. Acknowledge it, sure, but don't dwell on it. Instead, focus on the qualities that transcend age. Your sense of humor, your kindness, your ability to listen and understand. These are the things that truly matter in a connection between two people. And here's a little secret. Many younger women are drawn to older men precisely because of these qualities. They're looking for someone who's seen a bit of life, who can offer a different perspective. By embracing your age, you're highlighting exactly what makes you unique and appealing. So the next time she asks about your age, don't panic, don't apologize. Instead, take a deep breath, smile, and show her the confidence that comes with your years. Tell her your age proudly, then follow it up with a story that showcases your character, your wisdom, your joie de vivre. All right, we've covered a lot of ground on handling the age question, but what if she just won't let it go? What if she keeps pressing, determined to pin down that elusive number? Don't worry, I've got you covered. It's time to talk about the direct approach. Listen, sometimes a woman's curiosity gets the better of her, or maybe she's just used to getting answers when she asks questions. Whatever the reason, there might come a point where playful deflection and redirection just aren't cutting it anymore. That's when you need to step up and handle things head on. Now, when you find yourself in this situation, the key is to be direct but firm. You want to answer her question, sure, but you also want to make it clear that the number itself isn't what's important. It's about the connection between you two. Try something like this. I'm 45. But you know what? I've found that age is just a small part of who we are. What really matters is how we connect, don't you think? See what you did there? You gave her the information she wanted, but you immediately steered the conversation back to what's really important, the chemistry between you two. Or how about this? I'm 52. But let me ask you something. Does that change how you feel about our conversation so far? This approach does two things. It answers her question directly, but it also challenges her to think about why she's asking in the first place. Is it just curiosity, or is she genuinely concerned about the age difference? The goal here is to emphasize that connection matters more than numbers. You're not trying to hide your age or pretend it doesn't exist. You're simply putting it in perspective. Now, once you've addressed the age question directly, it's crucial to steer the conversation back to building that emotional connection. You might say something like, at 48, I've had the chance to experience a lot of amazing things. What's been your most exciting adventure so far? This not only acknowledges your age, but uses it as a springboard to learn more about her experiences and passions. Or try this. Being 55 has taught me the importance of really listening to people. So tell me, what's something you wish more people understood about you? This shows that your age has given you wisdom and empathy, while also inviting her to open up on a deeper level. Remember, the goal isn't to dwell on the age difference, but to show her that it's not a barrier to a genuine connection. You want to reinforce the idea that authentic attraction often outweighs age preferences when there's a real spark between two people. Think about it. When you meet someone who truly gets you, who makes you laugh, who challenges you in all the right ways, does their age really matter all that much? Of course not. That's the point you want to drive home. Here's a powerful insight I want you to remember. It's not about hiding your age, it's about showing her why it doesn't matter. Your years on this earth aren't a liability, they're an asset. They've shaped you into the man you are today. A man with stories to tell, wisdom to share, and a depth of character that can only come from real-life experience. So the next time a younger woman persists in asking about your age, don't panic. Don't get defensive. Instead, answer honestly, then immediately show her why it's not important. Show her that you're confident in who you are, regardless of the number. Show her that you're more interested in building a connection based on mutual understanding and shared experiences than on comparing birth dates. You see, when you approach the age question with this level of confidence and clarity, something magical happens. More often than not, she'll start to see your age in a different light. Instead of a potential obstacle, it becomes just another interesting facet of who you are. And isn't that what we're all looking for in a partner? Someone who sees us for who we truly are, beyond the surface details. Well now, let's recap what we've learned, shall we? You've got a toolkit of strategies to handle that age question with grace and charm. Remember, it's not about the number, it's about the man you've become. Confidence, humor, and genuine connection. These are your new superpowers. They outweigh any birth date, my friend. Your years? They're not a burden. They're a treasure trove of experiences, wisdom, and stories that make you uniquely captivating. Think about it. Every gray hair, every laugh line, they're testaments to a life well lived. And that's attractive at any age. So next time a younger woman asks about your age, don't shy away. Stand tall, look her in the eye, and show her the depth of character that only comes with time. Don't forget to smash the like button if you want to see similar wisdom. Your age isn't a barrier. It's a bridge to deeper, more meaningful connections. Now go out there and show those younger women what real charm looks like.